this story starts about 3,000 miles south of here when I was growing up in Jamaica. It's the first day of 7th grade for me, which is high school in Jamaica. And I think I'm kind of smart, somewhat good looking, you know, somewhat well adjusted. So I feel like I've arrived when I get there on that first day. And then I see the new girl who had moved there from Barbados. And I have to tell you, from the first moment I saw her, I was smitten. It was like I was shot by Cupid's arrow. It's like that time where, you know, you feel a star shining down on you, and then you look up and you realize there's a sky, and it's filled with other stars, but all the other stars are dim because this one star is shining so brightly. That's how I felt. So, as I said, I was smitten by this girl. And I proceeded for the rest of the year to make a complete ass of myself. I mean, you know, I was normally loquacious, but I was completely tongue-tied around her. I would make movie faces at her in homeroom. I remember one time she was picked as a model for art class, and everybody else was making jokes and, you know, making caricatures, and I'm wearing my pencil down to a nub trying to create Da Vinci's Mona Lisa. You know, I wanted to show her beauty, her depth, and her mystery. What actually came out was kind of a poor man's Picasso, you know, all angles and colors and facial parts all over the place. It really didn't work out. But anyway, this goes on and on for the whole year, and the worst part about it is that everybody in the class knew that I was, you know, just head over heels with this girl. And I didn't care. I couldn't do anything about it. I was only 11. I mean 10. I didn't really know what to do. So the whole year goes by, and I'm feeling kind of morose because the year is up. And it's summertime now, and then there comes a summer surprise. You know, as it turns out, my sister's best friend was first cousins with my crush, and she had invited over her best friend, and the crush was coming over too. And so my crush was going to be sleeping overnight at my house. So I was going to have another chance to spend some time with her and maybe do something instead of make an idiot of myself. So she finally came over, and we decided that we would play cards after dinner. And I was cool with that because, you know, nobody else was going to be around. It was just going to be me and her. So as far as I was concerned, you know, that was a first date. So, you know, after dinner, you know, I went and took a shower, and I was getting ready. I put on my favorite cologne, Stetson back in the day. And, you know, normally I would wear shorts to sleep, but, you know, I put on, you know, my favorite pair of pajamas. It was like a karate gi powder blue. So I put on the gi. I'm standing in front of the mirror. I'm getting prepared. And that's when I have a mirror battle with a guy that I hear she's been dating. Oh, your 10th grade drive my daddy's car technique is very good, but it is no match for my blinded love or heart on sleeve technique. And so I kick him and my nervousness completely through my bedroom window, out of my mind, out of her life. And I heard a funny sound that wasn't one of my sound effects, but it didn't matter because, no, I had a plan. And my plan was that when we played cards, I wasn't just going to play cards. I was going to be cool. I was going to be calm. I was going to be nonchalant, debonair, suave. And I wasn't just going to expose my prowess. I was going to crush her. I mean, I was going to decimate her. You know, I was going to beat her so badly and wear her down. I would leave her in a quivering mass, thus showing my abilities, proving my dominance, and my abilities, you know, my viability as a mace. This was my plan. So we go, you know, we're sitting on the carpet and we start to play cards, and the situation goes left very, very quickly. You know, she says something and she makes a motion, and I'm not really paying attention because, you know, I'm too busy being nonchalant. And she looks, and I'm like, what? And she looks real close, and I'm like, what? And she kind of plays it off, but, you know, I'm all discombobulated, and the vibe is kind of gone, and, you know, we end up finishing playing cards, and the night kind of ends on a subpar note. And so I go to bed all confused, and I wake up the next morning trying to figure out what's going on. I'm getting out of my pajamas, and I take off the pajama bottoms, and I realize that that sound I'd heard the day before was my pants ripping from the crotch all the way to the back. So immediately I saw this flash of her the day before, cross-legged, bent at the waist in some kind of cool yoga pose, staring intently from 2 feet away at my 11-year-old package. Snugly cocooned in a fresh, crisp pair of Fruit of the Loom tighty whities. Yeah, so, you know, as you can imagine, I was completely embarrassed. I avoided her that whole day, and I dreaded the first day of 8th grade when I would have to face her again. Lo and behold, she didn't show up, and she had moved back to Barbados. And I had to go through the rest of the year kind of dealing with my embarrassment and dealing with, you know, the loss of my first love. And, you know, I kind of got over it and went, you know, put my effort into school and into football and into girls. And, you know, when she finally came back the following year, I was kind of over it, you know, and I was kind of cool. And we never really talked about that specific instance. And I kind of realized that, you know, the experience wasn't that bad and, you know, kind of life goes on. And, you know, ever since then, I never really had any problems dealing with girls or being in situations like that. I never had those what-if situations that a lot of people come across when they first start dealing with relationships. You know, what if I don't know what to say? Or, you know, what if they don't like me? What if my breath smells? You know, what if I have to fart? Didn't matter. You know, because that's when I first started to build my first principles of how to live in life and how to deal with negative outcomes in life. And I realized that, you know, it doesn't matter when you're in school or work or, you know, in sports, whatever, you know, you should never fear rejection or pain or loss or any of those things. You know, you should pursue what you desire, come what may, and you'll be a better person for it. So, you know, ultimately, you know, wherever my crush is, I have to raise my glass to her because I truly believe that when life gives you lemons or, you know, brings your margarita glass, that you shouldn't just sprinkle a little bit of sugar on it. You know, you should squeeze all of the juice out of that lemon and make a big pitcher of hard lemonade and toast the world.